But it's a caricature, like all caricatures, that is built on something which has some truth to it, which is that we have let ourselves down. Now, we are not Muslims. We don't have a religious reason, unless you're an Orthodox Sikh, there would be. We don't have a cultural or religious reason particularly to give up meat. I'm not saying people should. What I do say, however, is this. The younger people here, some of you are at university, some of you are at school, some of you are going to university perhaps shortly. You're going to have exposure to all kinds of influences, okay? And I hope that you have as brilliant an experience as me and Diljit had when we went to Oxford, because we had the most fabulous time of our lives. But remember, you're ambassadors for your community as well. And when you go out there, particularly if you're wearing a pug, just remember what that pug means to you and your community. And how people will comment when you leave the room drunk, they will say something about you. They will reinforce that stereotype to you. Third and last thing that I want to say about Punjabis and what we need to do to sort ourselves out and make ourselves better. We need to treat our females much, much better than we do at the moment. And this is really important. I'm the father of 2 daughters. Luna and I have 2 girls. We're not the only ones here who have daughters. Many of you have daughters. Some of those daughters are sitting here amongst us. My girls are 9 and 14. And I tell my girls, when you get married, which one day I hope you do, there are 3 things I want from my son-in-law. I don't ask for much, just 3, all right? He's going to be really well educated, because I will struggle to have a conversation with him if he's ignorant. He's going to have a really good job, because I don't want you coming home to your dad and saying, Dad, can you help me with the down payment for a house because my husband's skint? And I say to them, it's going to be really good looking. Because I don't want ugly grandchildren. My girls laugh in my face. And so they should. Because who am I to tell them what sort of a husband to choose for himself? But this is the point, right? I tell my girls the reason why we are putting you through this good education that you are getting, much better than your dad had in Southall, in local schools. Visharan and I went through local junior schools, local comprehensive schools, like many of you sitting in this room. And we made something of ourselves, even though the challenges were so tough, we still made something of ourselves. Now we are of a certain generation where we can give our children a much better education, but we need to teach them something about that. It's really, really important. For our girls, the reason why we're giving you this great education, darlings, is because we want you one day to go to a nice university and then ultimately get a really nice job and a nice career and have your own economic independence. Have your own money. Never should a young woman ever put her whole life in the hands of her husband, because if one day things go wrong, and things sometimes go wrong, the last thing you want to be is destitute and homeless. And I've drilled this into my daughters. Why? Because I know back in Punjab, things are not as they should be. Right now, we have the unenviable reputation in Punjab of being either the first or second worst state in India for female infanticide and abortions, which are done only for one reason, because people don't want to know. Can you imagine? We who thought that we were so enlightened because of our gurus and our religion have ended up having this embarrassing, shameful reputation that in India we are probably the worst state for getting rid of females before they're even born. What happened? What happened to us? Our religion taught us that men and women are equal. It's what makes us say to other people where other women are treated badly, where we say to them, that's because, you know what, in your religion, right, you treat women as second-class citizens. In our religion, our women are equal. We boast about it. We boast about it. Do we practice it? No. We don't practice it enough. It's not just what happens in Punjab that brings shame upon us, and you know, some of you are paying attention to these things. There's now too many boys in Punjab compared to girls. The demographics have gone completely wrong. We've now got a shortage of females to males. The ratio has gone really bad. And that means now boys are struggling to find wives. What a supreme irony. So individual families have taken decisions to try and restrict the number of girls, only to find that those lovely sons that they brought up now can't find a wife. That's our responsibility. We are not living in India, but we're living here. And all the girls that we've got, let's teach them. Your value is 100% equal to a boy, and make them feel that you will support them, but they should learn to support themselves, never to put your life in the hands of another. That's a very important lesson I teach to my daughters. I hope for some of you, you feel the same way. These are 3 things about us as Punjabis I want this gathering to think about. Don't pull ourselves down when others are doing well. Don't embarrass yourself in public with behavior that really brings shame upon us. And treat women and girls properly. And I reckon, if we can crack these 3 problems, we're invincible. Because there aren't any other weaknesses that I can see that are worth worrying about. We've got everything else covered, folks. Everything else is taken care of. Now, last thing. A Punjabi society is not a linguistically based society. Daljit talked to you very, very intelligently, if I may say so, about the subtlety of what it means to be in a Punjabi society. It's not just about the fact that we share the same language, or that most of us are from one particular religion. Punjabi is something different to Punjabi. Related but different. My father, who came to this country in 1964, spent the first 4 years working in a factory. He had to take his turban off and cut his hair to get a job. My mother, when she came over, was a trained nurse from India but couldn't get a job here. She worked in the factory for 3 or 4 years, whilst me and my 2 brothers were growing up. Eventually my dad became a teacher in a primary school in Brixton. He was a man of learning who understood what's in the house and teaching his boys all the things that he had learned but never had a chance to use. My mother became a nurse. So in their own modest, humble way, they raised a family in a good home, a secure home. My dad had another talent. My dad was a writer, Punjabi writer. His name, for those who are interested in these things, is Preetham Singh Sidhu. Happily he's still alive today, he's retired but he's still alive. And my dad, Preetham Singh Sidhu, wrote 12 books in Punjabi, in this country. And those books were all about the experiences of his generation of immigrants, Punjabi immigrants, and how their lives were. And it was read across the whole country, not just in South, but across the Midlands and the North as well. He believed, because he came from that generation which went to school and learned Urdu, he could write poetry in Urdu. He believed that to be a Punjabi wasn't actually just to be a Sikh. Because half of Punjab is not Sikh. Half of Punjab in India is Hindu. And the other part of Punjab, which is on the Pakistan side where my parents started from, was all Muslim. He believed there was something about being a Punjabi that meant more than just sharing one language. It was about a culture that was to do with history, to do with dance, to do with music, to do with language, to do with food, to do with literature. And it was a culture which was a composite of so many things, just like our Guru Granth Sahib was. Not one thing, but so many things. My father-in-law, my late father, my wife Luna, who sits at the back very quietly, wondering whether I'm going to fall over in a minute, out of sheer exhaustion because it's been a long weekend. I'm very proud of my in-laws, because my father-in-law passed away about 10 years ago. His name was Harpal Tuana. And Harpal Tuana was one of the foremost film directors and theatre directors and actors of his generation. Went to the National School of Drama in Delhi when it was not fashionable for Punjabi boys to go into acting. And he met the love of his life, my mother-in-law, at that school, who then became an actress in her own right and won the most prestigious award in India last year, which was given to her in the President's Palace. What a credible Punjabi people they were. What did my father-in-law believe? The same as my father. That the Punjabiyat was something which was worth preserving and treasuring, and it had nothing to do with religion. It was to do with everything that made you proud to share the same soil of Punjab, which pre-47 included Muslims, Hindus and Sikhs. So whilst it may be that we are mainly Sikhs in this room, let's not forget what it means to be part of the Punjabi. Let's strip away all the negatives that have become associated with our people, the drinking and all that. Let's strip it away. Let's show people how good we really can be. If you want the youngsters here to stand up and say they're a Punjabi, they shouldn't say that I'm a Punjabi because I'm a Sikh. A lot of Sikhs are not Punjabi. A lot of Sikhs actually will be generations in East Africa, Malaysia, Singapore. They don't have the same connection to Punjab in the same way. It's not about our religion. It's about the soil that our forefathers and foremothers came from that makes us who we are today. That mitti is what we are now. Okay? Courage, discipline, hard work, determination, never say die attitude. These are the things that we celebrate. And more than that, the sophistication of our language. Never let anyone ever say to you again, oh, we speak Punjabi and we speak Hindi in our family, but we prefer Hindi because, you know, Punjabi is a bit of a crude language. How many times have you heard that? My father and my father-in-law would have hated to hear anyone say that Punjabi is an unsophisticated language. Maybe to some people, but not to those who were learned and practiced in Punjabi, who knew full well that that language had all of the tools of any great language of the world. Never let anyone say that Hindi is a better language than Punjabi. When I go to Punjab now, and I hear Sikh children speaking Hindi at home, and I ask, why are they speaking Hindi at home? Oh, well, because you know what, in the future, when they get a job in India, it's better that they speak Hindi. As if they could grow up in a country like India and not learn Hindi anyway. It's like saying to someone who's brought up in this country, I'm teaching them Punjabi at home and only Punjabi at home. Because if I don't teach them Punjabi at home, they'll never learn it elsewhere. So they don't go to a gurdwara, they don't have a mama or a taya or a chacha who will speak to them in Punjabi or a dada or nana. We will learn these languages as and when we want to learn them, but be proud of the one that you started with. That's your mother tongue. Preserve it, celebrate it, and don't allow people to make fun of it. Protecting ourselves means protecting everything that we stand for. Okay? Ambassadors, yes. Spokespeople, yes. Don't worry about what I have done. I have done my little bit, and I'm doing as much as I can. But everybody else, especially the young people here, please think about that. Are you doing enough? Those who are at school, are you doing stuff outside school? Are you doing some voluntary work? Whether it's at your local gurdwara or a local charity, think about what you do, because if you're doing that, you are being Punjabi. If someone's being bullied at school, and no one else stands up for them, you stand up. That's what being a Punjabi is. When you get the chance to speak your language, because if you don't, you're the last generation, and nobody else will, because even your brothers and sisters back in Punjab have given up. Keep it going. Keep it going. Celebrate. Be happy. Enjoy. Because being a Punjabi in the end is about being a joyful, happy person in love with this life, not the next one. Thank you very much.
Guys, I want to thank Joe for that excellent piece that he said there. I hope everyone's motivated by what he said, and everyone's going to try and be the best Punjabi that they can be. This is from the Punjabi Society. It's a small gift to Joe, just to thank him for coming up from Southall today and speaking for us.
Thanks very much.